Hi, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. This is a topic on a lot of our minds, maybe one that we need to address more frequently. We're going to talk today about retirement. I'm joined by Nick Schreck, who's with Expedition Retirement. I think you have some information for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So lots to get to, but let's start with telling us a little bit about yourself and Expedition Retirement and what you do.
Thanks. Well, as you said, my name's Nick Schreck. Grew up in the Germantown area and relocated here in Madison after college. My wife, Nicole's from this area. We have two beautiful kids. They're about to turn 6 and 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So we're in the thick of it right now. Yep, we're very busy. I started Expedition Retirement 5 years ago. I managed for a medium-sized financial services firm and left that to go on my own, and also co-own an organization called the Retirement Classroom, which provides free educational classes at a lot of libraries around the Madison and Milwaukee areas.
Wow. So you're very busy.
Very busy, yeah.
Have a lot of extracurriculars, including those kiddos. So a lot of financial professionals work for, those bigger firms. You hear about a lot that some of them national, some of them even just bigger local firms. Why did you decide to start an independent firm?
Well, a lot of financial professionals in our industry always start with larger firms because it's basically impossible to start out independent. And through about my 10 years or so of management, I saw that the baby boomers, as they were transitioning to retirement, were really underserved. Retirement's gotten a lot more complex, and there were not a lot of organizations that could really tie it all together for them. A lot of financial service organizations are really good at one thing, like investments or Medicare or life insurance, but no one really ties it all together. And I wanted to license myself both in investments and insurance to be able to perform that for clients. And secondly, I didn't want to be held captive by any single organization because the scope of retirement is so complex. You need to have a lot of different options at your disposal for your clientele and not just be held captive by one organization.
It is very complex, which is why it's so helpful to have somebody who is an expert on your side. You mentioned the baby boomers, which of course is a huge generation that needs to be served for this specific category, especially right now. On to another topic, I want to know a little bit about the Trail Guide. What is this? The
Trail Guide's what's sitting in front of us right there, and as you can see, there's a lot of printing that goes into it.
Yes.
It's quite thick. On the surface or functionally, it's a tabbed 3-ring binder that keeps us organized throughout retirement. One of the things I'm finding with my clientele is that they're seeking organization as they go into retirement. So the Trail Guide serves as a playbook and a center for organization for us in retirement. It has income and cash flow planning, investment analysis and positions, Medicare insurance, transfer of estate information for our next of kin after we pass. So kind of serves as a playbook.
I'm going to turn this so you can see really how much is in here. A lot of information.
Yeah, there's a few nights late at night where my wife will come downstairs and say, "It's 1 in the morning. Was the printer still going?" And right there.
You can see right here why.
Yeah.
We have to go to break in a couple minutes, but I want to talk about some of the biggest challenges that you're seeing as people are approaching retirement. With a book like that, I got to imagine there's a few.
Yeah, for the greatest generation, retirement was a lot more simple than it is now. Retire, collect your Social Security, collect your pension, collect your Medicare, sail off into the sunset. For the baby boomers, I think the biggest challenge for them is going to be their longevity. They're expected to live a lot longer lives, so how do we make our money last? How do we navigate through the Medicare system? How do we mitigate taxes? And it also brings in a lot larger risk of needing nursing care. How are we going to deal with that? What's our plan for that?
Gosh, there's so much to think about and learn about, and it's helpful to have somebody like you. So if somebody's interested in getting started, becoming a client, what's kind of the first step in order to get in touch with you?
Well, the first step is to get in contact with me either through our website or give us a call, and we'll set a time to get together for about 45 minutes, basically for me to get to know my potential client and what they would possibly be seeking my help for, and gain information from them to make some recommendations and put a trail guide together. And then we'll have a number of follow-up meetings to go over my recommendations and some of their analysis. There's no cost to any of that. And if they choose to move forward as a client at that point, then they have the ability to do so.
Wow, that's great. So to kind of get started and get to know you is fee-free, And then, if you want to move forward, that's when you start the client relationship. I think
Absolutely.
that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing some of the information today. I have a feeling we could have spoke a lot longer than 5 minutes on this topic. But Nick, it's been a pleasure. This is Nick Schreck with Expedition Retirement. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Talk of the Town. We've got more for you coming up after the break.